Teachers are drowning in paperwork, grading, and curriculum prep. When the final bell rings, a second shift begins, with hours of administrative tasks stacking up well into the night. Enter generative AI. The pitch is incredibly appealing. Tools that instantly write lesson plans, grade essays in seconds, and eliminate that after-hours workload completely. But for educators who prioritize connection, handing the reins to an algorithm feels dangerous. Outsourcing this work risks turning dynamic classrooms into sterile, automated environments. This leaves schools caught in a trap. How do you reclaim your nights and weekends without making your teaching feel robotic? Ignoring these tools leaves the burnout cycle unchecked. Adopting them recklessly risks the trust students place in us. This creates a difficult balance, capturing the efficiency of automation without surrendering the human connection. Managing that balance relies on a framework called Human in the Loop. It is the operational standard for integrating artificial intelligence safely. International bodies like UNESCO have built their entire educational AI guidelines around this exact human-centered approach. This flowchart shows a system where the machine does the computational heavy lifting, processing data and drafting baseline content, but the human educator retains absolute authority over the final pedagogical decisions. Making this work requires a shift in how you operate. Instead of creating every piece of content from scratch, you become a content editor. That means learning the mechanics of prompt engineering to guide the machine effectively. By keeping the teacher actively involved in the workflow, schools capture the efficiency of automation while protecting the critical trust students place in their instructors. Let's look at how this works in practice, starting with curriculum planning. The hardest part of lesson prep is often staring at a blank page. The high-risk approach is treating AI as an autopilot. This happens when you feed basic standards into a language model and assign the generated lesson plan to your students without a second thought. This comparison table shows the responsible method, which treats the AI as a brainstorming partner. You ask it to generate multiple introductory hooks or baseline resources, and then you curate and refine the best options. That human review step is mandatory. The algorithm has no idea what happened in your classroom yesterday, what pop culture references your students actually respond to, or what specific hurdles they face. When you shave hours off the initial drafting phase, you can reinvest that time into designing higher-order activities, like project-based learning. These types of assignments force students to synthesize concepts and draw on their own lived experiences, rather than relying on simple factual recall. The machine acts as a highly capable assistant, but only your curation ensures the final material maintains instructional rigor. The second application tackles one of teaching's biggest logistical hurdles, differentiating instruction to meet diverse reading levels in a single room. As this diagram shows, you can paste a dense historical passage into an AI tool and ask it to instantly rewrite the text for two distinct reading levels, making the content accessible to everyone. But looking at these simplified versions, you have to be careful. These tools naturally average out information. If you don't check the output, the AI might oversimplify crucial concepts and eliminate the productive struggle that actually causes learning to happen. Then there is the strict ethical boundary of data privacy. The U.S. Department of Education issued clear warnings about risks to student data. In the rush to get personalized results, it is dangerously easy to input personally identifiable information, like a student's name, their IEP status, or specific behavioral history, into an external language model. The responsible fix requires strict adherence to privacy laws like FERPA and COPPA. You must ensure all prompts use completely anonymized data, while still providing enough instructional context to get a useful result. AI provides the physical capability to differentiate at scale, but it requires data governance and a teacher's critical eye to keep it safe and effective. Our third and most delicate application involves using AI to analyze student work and draft initial rubric scores and structural feedback. While this dramatically accelerates the grading cycle, AI suffers from bounded rationality. It operates entirely within the statistical parameters of its training data. An algorithm cannot perceive a student's emotional state. It doesn't know how hard they worked on the draft or the challenges they might be facing at home. If you send a student raw AI-generated feedback, the response often feels clinical and sterile. that can quickly demoralize a learner who is looking to you for mentorship. This is the point of intervention. You take the structural draft provided by the AI and manually edit it to include your supportive, instructive voice. By overlaying your specific insights, you calibrate the tone of the critique, ensuring the emotional safety of the student remains intact. The algorithm can handle the diagnostic heavy lifting of a rubric, but delivering the relational mentorship that drives real growth requires a teacher. The true value of artificial intelligence in education lies in its ability to absorb the mechanical, repetitive layers of instruction. By clearing the administrative clutter, educators can shift their focus back to social-emotional learning and one-on-one student connection. This quadrant chart shows that if you deploy tools aggressively for efficiency, you must actively ensure your authentic teaching voice isn't diluted. Using AI strictly for background tasks protects student relationships, but you must overcome the friction of writing effective prompts. Banning the technology entirely denies students the digital literacy skills they will need, while guaranteeing that educator burnout remains a constant. Education always remains a deeply human-to-human endeavor. Algorithms do not teach empathy, and they do not build relationships. Adults do. By strictly enforcing a human-in-the-loop framework, AI functions as a highly capable co-pilot, ensuring you remain the indispensable pilot in command of your classroom.